Everyone thought the golden retriever was going to suffocate the baby. He was the only one keeping her alive. What he knew, and what her parents didn't, took a pediatrician 3 minutes to explain, and a lifetime to stop thinking about. Kezia and Tom Hartwell brought their daughter home on a Friday. Nora was 6 days old, 7 pounds 11 ounces, and sleeping the way newborns sleep, not peacefully, not unnervingly, but somewhere between the two that makes new parents check the rise and fall of a chest every 4 minutes. Their golden retriever, Bear, was 6 years old, 91 pounds, and had been with them for 5 years before Nora existed. He was the dog people photographed for Christmas cards. He was the dog their mothers asked about by name. He was, by every measure available to them, completely safe. That is what made what he did next so impossible to interpret correctly. Within an hour of Nora coming home, Bear positioned himself on the dog bed in the corner of the living room, directly beside the bassinet. This was not unusual. Tom assumed he was curious. Kezia assumed the same. They watched him from the couch, alert but not concerned. Bear sniffed the edge of the bassinet once. Then he lay down with his chin on his front paws and did not move. He stayed there through dinner, through the first night feeding, through the second, through a full 12 hours in which Kezia got up 3 times and Tom got up twice, and Bear did not shift position by more than a foot in either direction. By Sunday morning, family had arrived. Tom's mother said what everyone was thinking. He shouldn't be sleeping so close to her. Bear is too big. Kezia agreed, because it was the kind of agreement that comes naturally from a new mother who is running on 3 hours of sleep and wants the people she loves to stop looking worried. She called Bear away from the bassinet. He came reluctantly. She gave him a treat and his rope toy and redirected him to the kitchen. He was back at the bassinet within 20 minutes. Tom called him off again. Bear returned within the hour. Tom's mother said it a second time, more firmly. Kezia put her hand on the dog's collar and walked him to the bedroom and closed the door. Bear sat in front of it and did not move. By Sunday evening, they could hear him through the door, a low, steady whine that rose and fell without urgency, not barking. Something more deliberate than barking. Tom opened the bedroom door at 9 p.m. to give him water, and Bear walked directly out and back to the bassinet without pausing. Kezia was holding Nora and about to hand her to Tom when she noticed the breathing. Not the breathing you see when you are watching for it. The breathing you notice when you are not. Nora was working. The muscles between her ribs, the ones that shouldn't be visible on an infant at rest, were visible. The rhythm was slightly fast. The color at her lips was not wrong exactly, but not right in the way that Kezia, who had been staring at her daughter's face for 4 days, recognized as different from the day before. She did not reach for her phone. She reached for her keys. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you are in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. The ER pediatrician, Dr. Anna Marie Cassell, assessed Nora's oxygen saturation at 91% on arrival. Normal for a newborn is 95% and above. RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, was producing inflammation in Nora's airway that was working against her breathing mechanics. The inflammation had been building since at least Friday, the day they brought her home, progressing silently in the way that RSV progresses in newborns who cannot tell anyone what is happening to them. Dr. Cassell asked Kezia one question before she left the examination room. At home, was there any behavior in your pets that seemed unusual in the last 48 hours? Kezia looked at her for a moment. She said, "Our dog would not leave her side. We kept moving him. He kept coming back." Dr. Cassell nodded once, in a way that said she had heard this before. Dogs have been documented detecting respiratory distress through changes in breath chemistry. The specific ratio of gases in exhaled air shifts measurably as oxygen exchange becomes compromised. Bear had been positioning himself at the bassinet, not out of attachment, but out of alarm. The whining at the bedroom door was not separation anxiety. It was an animal that had lost access to the patient it was monitoring. Has your dog ever done something that felt obsessive or worrying until you understood what he was actually doing? Tell us below. These stories deserve to be heard. Every time you moved him away from that bassinet, Dr. Cassell said he came back because the signal he was tracking was getting worse, not better. Every guardian deserves to be seen, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Nora was home in 4 days, healthy, monitored. Bear was in his spot beside her bassinet within 30 minutes of their return. Tom sat on the couch and watched the dog settle into his position and did not say anything for a long time. The dog's chin went to his paws. His amber eyes tracked the bassinet with the steady focus of something that had never stopped paying attention. The next story involves a dog who placed himself between 2 children and a door that a family had been walking through every day for 3 years, until the day they finally understood why.